This is KGW News at Sunrise.
And I can't believe we are at this point. For the first time in Camas School District history.
He's talking about a teacher's strike starting later this morning after the union and the district couldn't reach a deal. We're live at Camas High School in just a minute to get more reaction.
And today marks the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech and the March on Washington this morning. Perspective from someone who was there to witness that historic moment. Plus.
Challenged him, and this game is over!
Can you imagine this? I mean, this is like many kids' dream, right?
Yeah.
It became reality for that young man from California. He wins the Little League World Series for his team in the final inning of the final game yesterday. We're going to have more on that coming up here in just a few minutes.
I think he's still jumping up and down this morning. What a finish. Good Monday morning, everyone. Thank you for watching. Before we get to all the news of the day and some sports, we want to check in with Rod.
That's a great moment.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we have a pretty comfortable day coming. In fact, we have, dare I say, a pretty comfortable week coming, including into the Labor Day weekend holiday. We have, you can see it here, solid clouds up top. This is a widespread marine push. 67 is the temperature. There might be some misty spots around. It looks like we will still be overcast at noon, only about 72 at that time. And clouds could be kind of stubborn to break up. I have us at 82. Some of the weather modeling says no. Maybe we stay in the upper 70s. Pretty comfortable Monday. Back to you.
All right, we'll have more from Rod coming up here in just a few minutes, but we want to start our news segment this morning with breaking news from overnight. This is a live look from North Portland. North Vancouver Avenue is closed right now between Sumner and Webster Streets as police conduct a death investigation. Portland Police tells us they responded to a shooting call shortly before 1:30 this morning. This next video we're going to show you is from that same area earlier this morning. When they arrived, police say they found one man dead but didn't tell us how he died. They also haven't made any arrests. We'll continue to track this story this morning and bring you more updates here on Sunrise.
We all want to be in our classrooms on the first day of school. We all want a fair contract. We want to be with our kids, and so this is hard on educators.
That's a teacher in the Camas School District who will not be at work today. Instead, she and more than 400 others will be going on strike after the district and the teachers union failed to agree on a new contract.
Yeah, the strike is expected to officially start at 9 o'clock this morning, but several teachers are outside Camas High School right now. That's where our Devin Haskins is live for us today. Good morning, Devin.
Yeah, good morning, guys. So just in a couple of hours, 450 teachers and educators will go on strike here in the Camas School District. That strike, as you said, is supposed to start at 9 o'clock today, but a few of them are here this morning. Mark Gardner, one of the teachers here at Hayes Freedom High School within the district. Tell me, what is the union asking for?
Our top priorities are really centered on using our contract to provide equitable access to things like music and PE across all of our schools so that the patrons in our community and the kids in our community, it's not kind of roll of the dice to whether or not they have access to those kinds of programs, supporting smaller class sizes, especially at the elementary, kindergarten level. And when we came to the table, we actually didn't come to the table asking for more money. A lot of times people assume that when there's a strike or a union action that it's all about someone's asking for a raise. We came asking for the district to just honor the commitment they already had, which was a cost of living adjustment that was in our contract in 2020. Weren't coming asking for more pay, and unfortunately, the district's response was a de facto pay cut. And so our priorities really are student-centered. We didn't come into this bargain fighting about money, and that's where it's gone, unfortunately.
The district says that you guys have lowered your class size request. Can you kind of explain where it's at, and if you want to explain that point?
So at this point, the things that are still on the table are less about class size. There is some of that in terms of the numbers at kindergarten in particular, but I believe that they may be either at or close to an agreement on that. Really what's remaining has to do with funding for the programs like music, library, PE, and across mainly our elementaries, but all of our buildings. And then the sticking point really, and the big item is salary, unfortunately, even though that wasn't something we were seeking to bargain this year.
You were telling me off camera, but this is something that's never happened before. Camas has never gone on strike.
We have never had a strike in the history of the Camas School District. We came very close in 2018. We voted to authorize a strike, and that was the year that several other districts in the region did go on strike, but we were able to ratify a contract literally on Labor Day, the day before the first day of school, and kids missed no school.
School canceled today. Kids in every school here in the Camas School District supposed to go back to school is what's the first day of school. School will now, whatever snow makeup days or later days will be used to kind of make up any days that are lost because of the strike. This could extend the school year. This does not impact coaches. Coaches are under a different contract.
Correct. So athletics practices, the scheduled games or matches are still going on as normal. Those occur outside of the school day. Our coaches who are teachers or employees, once the strike action, the end of the school day, they'll go to practice.
Which is 3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m. is when the strike, the work action is going to stop today. Yeah.
So what do you make of the district saying this is their final, best, and last offer?
In negotiation, it's always back and forth. I've been at the table in 2 negotiations, including the one in 2018 that came right up to the precipice of a strike. We're hoping that they recognize that what we're asking for is reasonable and sustainable. Real key that we want our patrons to recognize is there's a pattern in our district of really overestimating expenses, including personnel expenses, and underestimating revenue. And that pattern has been consistent for years and years and years, at least 7 years based on the data that I see. And what that means is at the end of the school year, the district is ending with more money than they expected every single year. And so there's something in the calculations that is not correct, and those calculations that are incorrect are driving their decision making. So when they think that they can't afford what they already agreed to, the reality is they can. And historically, they've shown that they can. And there's a lot of scare tactics in the community about those numbers right now.
Well, Mark, I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
Devin Haskins live outside Camas High School. Thank you. There's also a chance of a teacher strike in the Evergreen and Battleground school districts. Now, they're not there yet. Today, they'll be heading back to the bargaining table to continue negotiating a new contract. If that doesn't happen, though, Evergreen and Battleground teachers say they will strike starting Wednesday, which is supposed to be the first day of class.
In your other headlines on this Monday morning, a man is in jail after police say he stabbed 2 people in southwest Portland Saturday night during random unprovoked attacks. Police got called to Pioneer Courthouse Square around 10:30 and found a man with a stab wound to the neck. Then, a half hour later, police got another call near Southwest 10th Avenue and Morrison for another man with a stab wound to the chest. Both victims expected to survive, but if you saw either stabbing, Portland police want you to call them. We're also keeping an eye on a wildfire burning in the Mount Hood National Forest. The Camp Creek fire has grown to more than 1,200 acres since it ignited Thursday. There are no evacuation orders at this time. The fire is not threatening any buildings. The biggest concern now is how close it is to the Bull Run water supply. But Water Bureau officials say they're not worried right now. And at 7 o'clock this morning, crews will begin removing 2 semi-trucks from the Columbia River near Biggs Junction east of the Dalles. One of the trucks crashed Friday after hitting an abandoned car on the freeway shoulder. The other happened Saturday after investigators say the driver likely fell asleep behind the wheel. Wow, look at those images. No one was hurt, fortunately. While crews remove the trucks, though, a heads up, about 7 miles of I-84 westbound will be closed at Biggs Junction for at least a few hours. And those are some of your other morning headlines.
This ball driven to right. Grand slam to tie it for Curacao.
That wasn't a bad moment at all yesterday in the championship game of the Little League World Series. Curacao with a grand slam home run in the top of the 5th inning to tie that game up at 5 runs apiece. But the biggest highlight of the game didn't come until the next inning in the bottom of the 6th. Check out this highlight.
Challenged him, and this game is over.
Yeah, the grand slam tied it in the 5th, but that home run right there won it for the team from California. Louis Lappy, the name of that young man right there, circling the bases. I mean, he will literally tell that story for the rest of his life as long as he lives. Incredible finish. Again, the championship game of the Little League World Series. The U.S. representative from California brings home the title on that game-winning homer.
It doesn't get much better than that. Is he already being scouted now after
Right,
that performance?
obviously.
I read he's 6'1".
Wow.
So you have to be 12 or under to play in the Little League World Series. So
6'1" at 12.
1 inch at 12, 150 pounds. Not surprising that he's able to knock the ball out of the yard.
Well, I weigh more than he
Bravo.
does, and I'm,
You got it, Rod.
You don't have the length with your arms there, Rod, though.
I don't know if you ever watched Little League. I mean, ESPN had it on. I watched it from time to time. But to me, in some ways, it's more entertaining than watching big league ball because they will make some mistakes.
Yes.
But these young men, the young boys, they have the same mannerisms as the big leaguers. The way they sit there and they kind of. It's really entertaining to watch.
They're in training.
Good stuff. All right, let's take a look at the watch warning map. So, generally speaking, my 7-day forecast is filled with great news. Let's start with a little bit of bad news that we have, okay? All right, so in gray, including the west slopes of the Cascades down to the foothill communities, air quality warnings up, posted into the day tomorrow. A lot of wildfire haze and smoke out there. This orange area, which starts in the Dalles and goes to the Columbia Basin, this is a wind advisory right now posted from the Weather Service for tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow. Cooler weather expected to ignite west winds. It could be gusting as high as 55 miles per hour. There is a red flag warning for high fire danger down in the Klamath Basin area as well. And here are the air quality reports. In fact, in Portland, it's a mix of good to moderate air quality this morning. Mostly moderate for you folks down in Salem and Marion County. And then you can see the unhealthy air quality dots in red in parts of the gorge and along the Cascades and continuing down into southern Oregon. Okay, so that's the bad news part. Let's get to the good news stuff, right? Upper level low setting offshore. It's still, we talked about this last week. Still looks incredibly likely that we will have some measurable rainfall coming up this week. All right. Right now we're quiet. It's dry. Well, there could be some misty spots. We're dealing with a pretty good push of low marine clouds. Futurecast shows that solid cloud cover this morning at 9:30. Shows that when we get into the afternoon, we will slowly become partly cloudy. This will definitely help keep temperatures down. Now I want to play this into tomorrow. Here we are at 9 a.m. This shows in green just some scattered rain showers. Not a lot. But I think there's a decent chance, here we are, rain showers picking up in the afternoon, that we'll get at least some measurable rainfall tomorrow. And then the rain chances back off on Wednesday. But look at this. Thursday morning, 5 a.m., could this be a widespread sweep of some measurable rainfall coming into Thursday morning? Looks like it. Right now, cloudy skies out there. 67 is the temperature in Portland. Let me get you the currents and I'll get you to the 7-day. Right now, 61 in Salem. Everybody's generally 50s and 60s except for the Dalles at 70 degrees. And here come the 7-day numbers. 81 today. Rain showers tomorrow, 70s. 70s Wednesday. A rainy Thursday, 70s Friday. A rain chance continues. And we stay comfortable into Labor Day weekend. We'll be back in a moment.